Life is like a video game. Figure out the system and just play against it.
I'm on fucking go mode. Watch, bro.
So that's what part of the video that Gokanaru himself did not actually make. So what he did was he was a little short on time. He wanted someone to juice the edits for that intro, and he reached out to me. He had this whole segment, it's about 4 minutes, that I was supposed to do, but I wasn't able to make the deadline because those first 15 seconds took so much time, and he ended up doing it himself. So this was the original timeline that I had for it, which was I was going to do it in Premiere Pro, and I just organized everything. I got all these photos. It started with the storyboard right here, and the only part of the storyboard that ended up making it was this part of it, this little loading screen. I was a little confused as to what he wanted me to do. I thought he wanted me to make like a little more complex edit, longer, more like story focused, but it was literally just like a loading bar. I storyboarded out like a whole sequence, and so this mission select thing also made it in, but I changed like the layout significantly. Same with this pill. There's just a miscommunication. I ended up making storyboarding unnecessary stuff. I just ended up exporting like the sound wave essentially to After Effects and just working from there entirely instead of using Premiere Pro, because After Effects is just like Premiere, but it's more specialized. Premiere's for big picture. There'll be After Effects is for small picture. The fun thing about this is this looks really cool, but it's actually not that difficult to do yourself. This is not the greatest file management here. Ignore all of these red ones. This was for future titling that I was supposed to do to make it to juice the text, but I ultimately ended up not doing that. I just kind of was playing around with fonts as like a basic layout, and then Gokanaru ended up doing it himself, and just because I couldn't meet the deadline. But this here just was like took way longer than I was expecting to do, but at the same time it's nothing you can't do yourself. Like with this is a Sneako in a Neo cosplay, and I just used the pen tool to cut him out, and then I just animated. I just added some keyframes. Where did I put Sneako loading? I guess that was it. Was it this? I guess it was. When we double click on that, here we go. This is its own compressed layer. I just remember, oh my goodness. And you can see this is me putting all of the little keyframes, or all of these right here, or the transform layers and all that. Oh my God. Oh, this was a little bit more than that. This was this entire scene. Just come back to me. I've forgotten all of the things that I did for this. All right, but this was how I laid it out. I was inspired by Hotline Miami and their loading screens, so I wanted to do something similar. Each one of these is hand animated. Everything is hand animated in this, I guess. Like, I just put the key for it. That's how animation works. But none of these are presets. I did them all myself. That's what I'm trying to say. And I added the little bump when they come in, and then like we'll slam it in there. The animation for his mouth moving was kind of funny. For that one, what I did was I had to cut him out on top. So there's actually 2 layers, a copy and pasted layer of Sneako talking. I believe I should be able to select. Whoops! Oh, that's the problem. There's 2 layers, and I used the drawing tool to draw a blackness underneath the first picture, just right under the lip there, to make it look like those 2 lips were moving up and down. And I moved the up and down, like I animated the cutout lip up and moved it down. Right now there appears to be this adjustment layer was made, I think, to make all of the text look slightly, like everything in the screen looks more blurred and less good quality. So I want to make it look like an old game, That's why I also, with the audio levels,
It's like a video.
I was running them through like garbulating like filters that just bit compressed it, and that was a whole mess to get it sounding like kind of as like much like an old game as you could. Yeah, so this is 3 layers just to do his face moving like that, and then they have this tool in here where if you double click on it, it's Sneako, that's the text. Matrix, this is what I keep clicking on. The Matrix text I got from YouTube, and I just like green screened it, or black screen, I think it might have been. And then just pixelated it to make it look, more like lower resolution to fit the aesthetic. It actually, like with these stock photos, it really, really worked really, really well. I was surprised. To get that sense of movement, I simply moved the foreground here at a higher speed, and then the middle ground at a lower speed, and then the background at the lowest speed. get that like nice like traveling, like you're in a car kind of thing. The way these work is I've copy and pasted this twice, I believe. This and this, yeah, and then I've just rotated it and flipped it, and then I've paired this animation just follows whatever this foreground keyframe is doing. So when I move this, this one also moves, and I just had it slowly move. And I did that for all the rest of them, which is like a mixture of copy and pasting these trees after I cut them out of stock photos, and then flipping and copy and pasting the background skyline like in the back there. So it's all just really simple stuff. It just takes kind of a little bit to get together, put together, but these are all just copy and pasted these trees. And so this is also a tree, and I didn't need to put that one right there, but I had to cut it out as well. Look at that, cutting out the tree, the palm tree. And that's how I did this first initial shot. Nothing too crazy. I do like to add a little bit of, like when I'm doing the animation here, like of, I didn't do nothing to them. Never mind. This is just raw. This is me calculating the eases in and the eases out all by myself. Sometimes you can, if you right click on these, you can, oh no, if you do F9, I think F9. I don't have F9 on my laptop keyboard. You can turn these into smooth keys, but I didn't do that for that. Good to know. I chose the harder route, I guess. But anyhow, so it's just eyeballing it and animating it like so. Then we go back to here. Now that was just a mini scene inside of a larger scene. This one, the next following one, I was heavily inspired by the game Cruelty Squad, just because like, I don't know, look at it, blue, red, pills, weird, like matrixy background. I mean, it's perfect. This one, I did a similar strategy where I believe I had everything. Oh yeah, I made the environment out of blue pills by stacking, I guess, over 100 blue pills on top of each other. It's looking like 140, yeah, 140 right there. So it was the last one maybe I placed, just to get that pile, and then I animated the pile separately after they were all down here, and you can see right there I added some keyframes. So it was kind of good to make it mush around. I wanted it to feel alive, like Sneako Simulator. It's got to seem like a loading screen, kind of like from the game Hotline Miami. This one, it's like Cruelty Squad is I feel like it's very moving. Everything's like pulsing. It's got a heart, and this kind of looks like a heart, the big red pill. So everything again just individually animated, like this green. Oh, it also, yeah, it falls. I remember being really proud of that transition. The like red pill just falls over the screen, and then you hear the bloop noise. Once again, it's just like stretching things in and out, kind of like randomly. You can kind of tell like this gets warped. Like look how it's not even in the corner anymore. It's just kind of everything's animating on its own thing. Everything's like alive in its own way. That's kind of what I was thinking with this. I like how it turned out. And then for this last one, this is when I was the most pressed on time, and I kind of like I just found I think actually Gokanaru might have sent me this. This is all was green. This is bright neon green, kind of like this text right here. And then I just added some filters on it to make it look like Metal Gear Solid, like those columns. This is from Metal Gear Solid, this part right here, and that's what that was the theme of this whole part of it, was like make it look like each different shot was a different video game. This one was Metal Gear Solid. It's like I'm calling you box. Like I think it ended up doing what it needed to do, but nothing, like really nothing crazy in here. I just cut these out of YouTube videos basically, and I put them on the screen, and I mean they're all like that, I guess, but there's really like the least. This is really simple. I kind of felt bad about this one actually, and this one I was really proud of actually, just because of how simple it was, but how much time I thought I saved just by doing this. So this is hidden because it makes, I think, a noise or something, but essentially the original one does not have the fire that is over top of it. Let's see. Yeah, so there's no fire in the original one. It just plays like. And while I added okay, ignore the sound effects. It kind of messed up in this project file. I'm not really sure why. But Operation, it's got the da-na-na-na-na music. Then I added this fire, and I thought this fire when I got it was just a black background, and I was worried that it would overwrite this text, you wouldn't be able to see it. But when I turned it to screen, it just instantly like looked perfect, and it didn't even cover up this. It was perfect. It was literally beautiful. Like, let's see if we click on this. This is something you don't know. If you ever see a video effect that has a black background, you can turn on screen mode right here, and you see color dodge doesn't work, normal doesn't work. It covers up everything. But if you turn to screen, what screen does is it basically treats the color black as like not existing or something like that, and lets other things go through. But it's like in a way that lets the brighter things kind of cover stuff that's darker. I don't know. It's less intrusive. It's usually used for like visual effects, like explosions and stuff. Explosions, like gunshots, gun flares, that kind of stuff. You get a lot of videos of black. That's actually how you use them. You have to turn it to screen mode, and it's way better than green screen, because the color black, the color black always, it's very easy to identify. And that like layer mode just makes it's perfect. There's no keying, there's no worrying about like, oh, is it not going through? It just works every single time. As long as the background is completely black and there's nothing else black in the shot, works for fire. So that's everything in the Sneako Simulator edit. And hold on, don't leave just yet. I'm going to cover the JReg wall skit. The JReg wall sketch next, so just stay tuned. You can watch the editing breakdown for the JReg wall skit on my Patreon for free. Just go to the link in the top pinned comment or the description, and it'll send you right there, but only for a limited time. By the time the next video comes out with bonus Patreon content, the old video will become paywalled. So get to it as fast as you can. Goodbye.